Hi. So I had something really weird happen with my appetite yesterday. And if some of you watched my other more recent couple of days ago, I streamed. I mentioned that I was having a little bit of a struggle and had gone off of keto for 3 days. That was my intention, but I ended up going off keto for 4 days. Okay, so yesterday I had kind of a fun day with a family member. And by the time we got home for lunch, I was at their house and they had already made some food that was made available to me. We kind of ate different meals, but at the same time. And so I had collard greens that were sauteed with onions and garlic and stuff like that. Very well prepared. And I added some uh, apple cider vinegar, which I always add that to my greens. I've done that since I was a kid, actually. Uh, when I was a child, it was white vinegar because we didn't know about ACV. So then they made a dessert for me, and they had been experimenting. They have a very high-powered blender, so a whole frozen banana and like a tablespoon and a half of cocoa powder and bone broth. I'm not sure how much. This is without sugar. So protein powders like there was egg white and almond milk. And I think that was about it. Um, the bone broth does not make it taste weird. And that's the first time I've ever had bone broth. Now that I'm willing to try stuff like that. It's really different for me. I haven't been a vegetarian so many years. But anyway, so it just adds the balance, to the flavor. I don't know if you've ever gone to like the Salt and Straw. I'm not sure if there was more than one franchise, but in Portland, Oregon, we used to go to Salt and Straw for birthdays, and they had all different kind of flavors, and it was called the Salt and Straw. I mean, because ice cream sometimes has salt in it, or maybe it does all the time. I'm not sure. Anyway, it tasted wonderful, and it was creamy. It had the soft serve like texture to it. Let's see, and for the meal, I started with the collard greens, and then I had spaghetti squash sauce with no. First, I tasted the spaghetti squash noodles, which I'm not real crazy about, but I would eat it. So I got out the regular noodles that were already cooked and put the turkey spaghetti sauce on top of that and added Parmesan cheese, the grated real kind. So not the sprinkles. Okay, so then went, I would say probably 4 hours later, I started to get hungry. And I thought, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and eat dinner. This is gonna be day 5, without doing a two meals a day thing. So generally, what I do is not always like keto. I was doing only keto-friendly foods during my window of eating time, and then I learned from here and there. As you know, I've been following different YouTube channels that are various doctors and professionals. And one of them suggested, and I think it was Dr. Pels, suggests that you include some carbohydrates, regular, like, your split peas or um, lentils or something like that. So during my non-fasting days, where I ate 3 meals a day, so I had a very short window of actual fasting time. I had what normal, regular people that stop snacking after 5. I would eat at 5 or 6, my third meal of the day. And but I would eat regular regular foods, just not sugar. I'm trying like heck not to include any sugar in my diet. Okay, so yeah, like I say, about 4 hours later, I got hungry or thought I was hungry, and I thought I better fix something to eat. I was still at their house. I wasn't sure what I was going to have. They were eating. They were having a great big meal. Um, and then I got distracted, and all of a sudden, I just was not hungry. I didn't want anything to do with having food. And so, as you know, that often I felt like I was malnourished from even before I ever started keto. I just was always hungry, always hungry. Well, during those days that I started to go off keto, it was because, again, I was feeling deficient in something. I'm having a real struggle with getting enough protein. So I was using protein powder, cottage cheese. I was fresh out of the high, high protein yogurt that I'd been just starting to use again. Um, I hadn't fixed any burger, hamburgers. I hadn't done any cooking. Like I had planned on making salmon patties. I just been really busy doing stuff. But yeah, so just felt like I was getting to that point where I was always hungry again. And I'd go 3 hours and I'd be like ravenously hungry. So I just went with that. And it wasn't, I made sure like it wasn't emotional eating, which you can kind of tell if it's emotional eating, you might crave a specific food. Might be like chocolate or ice cream or something like that. But I was just hungry for real food. And I kept piling on the proteins as best I could with what I had. And as mentioned, I was eating falafels and, that was part of my diet during those non-fasting days. Okay, so yesterday I ended up doing no dinner. I'd had a a regular lunch. I ended eating, I think, about 2:30. So overnight, no hunger problems, nothing. Got up this morning, did my usual green tea and electrolytes and plain water even, and decaf coffee with no creamer in it. None of the usual stuff that I like. This is quite different than most people. I like to put unsweetened soy milk. Um, I always go back to that, even after trying whole cream, half and half or anything like that. So I do not like almond milk in my coffee, nor oat milk in my coffee. So yeah, I made it to it was a 19-hour fast. It was either 19 or 20. Anyway, I hadn't been able to even do that before. So I had always had to eat an earlier breakfast or something before going out the door. So just thought I'd give you that update. And I want to do another stream. I got a glucose monitor. It's called Easy Touch. And for those of you who are squeamish about watching live people, real people, stick themselves, you don't have to watch it. But I will include this in a later post today, a demonstration on how to do that, and let you know what my stats are. My stats are like normal, so I know that going on keto actually did some good for me. And, because my blood sugar, even though my A1C1 came back normal, I had times when I just felt like I was crashing. And then I had times when I would eat high carb meals and feel sleepy. So, even though I didn't have a glucose monitor, I probably had the numbers to show that I was swinging very low and very high, whatever. So, if you want to watch that, stay tuned later on. Maybe an hour from now, I'll do that or less because it is getting close to lunch. I might do it, within 15 minutes. So, anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you're having a good day there. Please subscribe.